Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to be making butter chicken. This is a very popular Indian style dish. My family loves it when I make it, and I do make some substitutions to suit my family's needs, but for the most part, it is very delicious. And here's how I'm going to do it. To start, I'm going to marinate my chicken breast. Here I have a little over 1 pound of chicken breast that I've just cut into chunks. To that, I'm going to start by adding 1 teaspoon of salt. By the way, things like salt and seasoning, especially the spice level, it's definitely up to your preference. Now I'm adding a 1/4 teaspoon of cracked black pepper and a 1/2 teaspoon of red chili powder. This is actually a Korean red chili powder. Cayenne works. I'm also adding 1 teaspoon of ground turmeric, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, and I'm also going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of ginger paste and 2 teaspoons of garlic paste. I'm using store-bought garlic paste and store-bought ginger paste, but you definitely can mash and mince your own. I'm also adding 3 tablespoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice and a 1/2 cup of plain Greek yogurt, or just plain yogurt will work. So now I'm just going to give this a good mix and combine well. Once you've combined all of the chicken with the yogurt and spices, you'll want to marinate it for at least 30 minutes. I actually take it about an hour by the time I get everything ready to film. Okay, so here in a pan, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. I'm using grapeseed oil, and 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to let the butter preheat and melt a little bit. Now I'm going to add 1/2 of a small onion that I've chopped, and I'm going to saute that. I'm also going to add a pinch of salt to help sweat and cook them out. So after sauteing for a couple of minutes, they are golden brown and my kitchen already smells good. I love a good sauteed onion. Okay, so now I'm going to add 6 chopped Roma tomatoes. These are fresh tomatoes. And I am going to continue sauteing my onions and tomatoes together. I'm also going to add another pinch of salt. I like to sort of season or add salt throughout the cooking process. So again, like I mentioned earlier, if you're going to add salt, it's definitely to your taste. So I'm going to continue cooking this. By the way, I am using a medium-high heat while doing this, and you'll want to check the description below this video for the ingredients and measurements used. Now I'm adding 1 teaspoon of ginger paste and 1 teaspoon of garlic paste. I'm going to continue mixing that. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of ground coriander seed, 2 teaspoons of garam masala. I'm also going to be using a 1/2 teaspoon of fenugreek seed that's been ground. I know one of the ingredients in butter chicken is fenugreek leaves or dried leaves, that it's finished in the sauce, but I couldn't find any, so I'm using this. So if you can find the leaves, use that. I'm also going to be adding a 1/2 teaspoon of red chili powder. This is basically a milder version of butter chicken. And now I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of ground cumin, mixing that in. And again, if you want more spice, heat, then kick it up a notch and add more. I'm going to add a pinch of salt, and I'm basically going to saute this until it's sort of like a thick paste. I'm going to add around a 1/2 cup of water just to get everything simmering. And once it concentrates and cooks out for about 3 to 5 minutes on a medium to medium-high heat, at this point you'll want to add a 1/3 cup of cashews. I am a nut-free house, so I'm going to use sun butter, which is made out of sunflower seeds. I'm going to finish the sauce with sun butter. But at this point, if you really want a more traditional butter chicken, then you'll want to add some cashews to this. But again, I got to make a substitution. So at this point, my tomato onion mixture is paste-like, so I'm going to remove it and let it cool. But in this same pan, I will be cooking my chicken. I didn't even clean it. I'm really trying to go for a 1-pan meal here. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter, melt it. Now I'm going to add my marinated chicken breast, and I'm going to cook it. Once my chicken breast is cooked, I'm going to remove it from that pan and set it aside. and turn the heat off for a second because I'm now going to puree that tomato mixture. So I'm adding around 3/4 of a cup of water and that tomato mixture that I sauteed with all those seasonings and spices. I'm going to cover this with the lid and puree it, and it will be this creamy, silky texture. If you need to sieve it, then you can do that, but a good puree works just as well. So this is ready to be simmered. So in my same pan, I'm adding a tablespoon of butter. So the butter's melted. Now I'm going to pour in my puree. Now that my puree is in my pan, I'm going to bring it up to a gentle simmer, and now I'm going to add a 1/3 cup of heavy cream. I'm going to mix that in. By the way, this sauce, it's so delicious. It really, truly is. This is one of my favorite sauces to pour over anything, even if there's not chicken. Sometimes I like to do potatoes and carrots in this. It's so good. So now I've added my cooked chicken. I'm going to mix that in. And actually, I should have added my sun butter first before adding the chicken, but you know, such is life. So at this point, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of that sun butter to the sauce. And again, for those of you that might have jumped ahead and skipped over it, you'll want to add cashews and puree the cashews with your tomato mixture, but because I'm a nut-free house, I substitute that nutty flavor with sun butter. So now that everything is mixed and combined, I'm going to add a little pinch of salt and bring this to a simmer for a minute or so, and it is done. I'm going to leave it in the same pan, and I'm going to finish it with a little bit of heavy cream and Greek yogurt mixed together. It definitely adds a nice creamy but tangy flavor to finish this. I'm also going to add some freshly chopped cilantro to this, and dinner is ready. I'm going to serve this with long grain rice, and it definitely is a delicious and easy way to make butter chicken, and it is mild. So if you do want this to be spicier, then just add more cayenne pepper or red chili powder. It's all good. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.